So my family and I just got back from San Francisco. Thank you to my wife for an amazing birthday trip. Wow, it's not very often that I get to go home, but when I do, I cherish it. I enjoy it. I try to savor every moment because the reality is I've not traveled the whole world, but I've been to a few places. And San Francisco, in my opinion, say everyone has their own opinion, is the most beautiful city on planet Earth. And thank you to everyone who has contributed to cleaning up the city. The last time I went, I don't think you could have went more than a few feet without having someone ask you for something. And I consider myself someone who would love to help everyone. But the reality is that, if you walk a few feet and there's someone sleeping there and they're asking you for something, I don't think you can go a mile and have anything left. If you're giving everything you have away, how are you able to even protect yourself from the cold? Because it is a cold, shout out to Mark Twain, coldest winter he ever experienced was the summer he spent in San Francisco. So I just wanted to share with you guys a few shout out to, I was watching this video. Shout out to Jenny and Kai. Individually, each one has their own YouTube channel, but together I consider them the YouTube powerhouse, really. Gosh, Watch Vice and Jenny L. I think her channel is called Jenny L. So shout out to Kai. His channel is Watch Vice. I just started a video where they released today. I said, you know what? I got to put something out there. And I think that's the future. There's an exchange, a barter system that occurs, but it doesn't necessarily have to be an exchange of goods. It could be exchanges of ideas. So thank you to them for putting out a video today and compelling me to say, you know what, I have to share as well. And that's not to say that there's no obligation to watch my video. I'm just, I feel compelled to share as well. So I wanted to share what I got from my family, from my sons, from my wife for my birthday. I'm watching this. We went to the Nintendo store in San Francisco. Really awesome. I hope the Emporium, I hope a lot of the businesses come back, or, other businesses come back. It's just, I don't like seeing empty buildings. So I hope that more businesses come back. And I think that is a reality. I think they will. So, shout out to Jordan Lane. Shout out to everyone out there who I follow. But I wanted to share what I got for my birthday, okay? The Nintendo store was awesome. I'm still holding off on buying a Switch 2. I want to see more actual physical games. That's what I love about Nintendo, is the fact that I can buy the physical game on a disc, a cartridge, whatever you want to call it. Mini SD card, alt SD card. But no, I'm holding off just because, at the moment, what is there? Cyberpunk? Yeah, Cyberpunk, sorry, 2077. That's the only game I know of that's on the physical that I would buy. I hope Pragmata, I know there's a digital version, physical? The digital physical version, but I want the physical version. It's like when I grew up, it was like Alien. You were an illegal alien. Look, I know what it feels like. This is what I like to tell. I think everyone knows what it feels like to be small, to be treated like they're little, like they're insignificant, like they're small. Because everyone started from what I see, everyone started out small, as a child. So everyone knows what it feels like to be small. We're even made to feel small, but not everyone knows what it feels like to be big. That's the truth, because I'm still a smaller statured man. And that's okay. I don't mind that. So I know what it feels like to be small. All I'm saying is Nintendo, when you start releasing more physical games, I will feel more compelled, physical, not digital physical. Same way, sorry, I had to bring it back around. When I was growing up, I said, who are these illegal aliens? I say, like, what? I thought if you were an alien, you're probably already illegal. But I think that's part of the process of growing up in the Republic of California, is this redundancy of communication. So I know what it feels like to be treated as an illegal and as an alien, based on my looks, I guess. I don't know. I guess, but one day I hope to know what it feels like to be a citizen, a person of value within my own country. So that's partly my attempt here. What I've been doing for the last decade plus on YouTube. I would say for the last 8 years, I've been really, really committing myself to establishing, I don't know, something that I would want to watch. Because at the end of the day, I don't know what other people want to watch, but I know what I enjoy watching. So I just want to show off what I got. So this is my favorite hat. Shout out to the Eugene Emeralds. It's a minor league baseball team for the San Francisco Giants. I love this hat. I've had this for a while. But we went to the Stanford store. Now I'm segueing to, shout out to Segway 2 for making cool products. No, the Nintendo store was awesome. My son I got this bag, and that's the Segway 2. This bag, I can't believe this bag was $50. It was a Zelda bag. I'm going to go through it. I've already packed it with all my stuff. But this is the other thing I got. The other store that I was extremely impressed with was the Stanford University store. My mother, she worked at Stanford. Maybe one day, maybe I can work there. Maybe as being an employee, maybe my sons could get a discount. And if they wanted to, not that they would have to go, but if they wanted to go to Stanford University, I think that would be cool. I mean, as a child, I always dreamed of going there. I think it was the smell of the trees and the beautiful campus. So I got this hat from my wife. I think it's an amazing hat. I love it a lot. I'm going to wear it. Shout out to the Cardinals. Look, I can't help but feel like, look, this is a hot take, okay? No, I was raised Catholic. I feel like when they changed the metaphorical lock to the door and I couldn't get into the building, I considered that being excommunicated. I don't know. One day, maybe if I speak to the Pope, I'd say, look, sir, was I excommunicated or not? You're sending me mixed signals, okay? And that's just a joke. So shout out to the Pope. Thank you for being a representative here on planet Earth. I also consider myself a representative. And if I'm honest with myself, I got excommunicated when I was born, because the reality is when you're a Catholic, you do everything wrong. You do. And you have to make up for it with kindness and love. And that's just my hot take on the matter. So, no, but seriously, I love this hat. If someone asks me, well, why'd you buy it? Because I just like it. I like the hat. I appreciate the university. I've never gone there. I've never taken a class, but my mother did work there. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be able to have experienced the bookstore and walk a little bit of the campus. Thank you for having electric vehicle chargers. I'm noticing that more. I look forward to the day that every parking complex, every hotel has charging stations. That would be cool. I do, and I look forward to the day when every new house that's built just has a vehicle charging plug, the same way that you have plugs for any other utility item that you use on a daily basis. And I think that's the future, and I think that, to me, is a beautiful thing. So thank you to my wife for buying me this hat. Slightly, look, $50, I think I'm just keeping it real. To me, it's worth it because I like it and it fits really nicely. 7 3/4, that's kind of me. I have a couple hats that are 7 and 7/8. That's a little bit too big. If I'm growing out my hair, then a 7 and 7/8 works good. But this is where I'm at, 7 and 3/4, 61.5 centimeters. And shout out to Miramar. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. Myanmar. My Eugene Emerald hat was made in. Hold on, guys. This is gonna be Bangladesh. This is gonna be a long one, guys. Why? Because I'm okay with that. I heard that a lot of people like long form content. I appreciate Audible for that specific reading. I just purchased. So shout out to anyone who uses Audible. I just purchased the Tom Selleck. I forget the name of the book. Now I'm doing you a disservice, guys. Oh my gosh, guys. Let me just pull it up. Actually, look what I'm gonna do. Look, I'm gonna show you what I'm trying to do. Did I give him a thumbs up? I gave him a thumbs up. Let me hype this too. 250 points. Come on, guys. Okay, so then let me shut that. Audible. Boom shakalaka. Okay, it's called. Hold on, guys. Let me go to the library. Look, I heard some people like long form content. You never know. By Tom Selleck, and he read it too, so I'm excited to listen to it. I'm doing Rawhide. Look, I have a backlog of books that I'm trying to read here, and a Project Hail Mary. I'm on that one as well. Okay, so thank you guys. But here, I can't believe this bag. I call it a day bag because it holds everything that I could and would use throughout the whole day. Now, someone correct me because I know YouTube is the best place to get corrected. And usually it's in the most rude and disrespectful way, which is fine because that's what I've been used to for 45 years. So please continue to do that. But I think a day bag is everything I can use for the whole day. And then a night bag, overnight bag, I would consider something big enough to hold clothing that I would need to sleep and then prepare myself for the next day. So I consider this a day bag, $50. Shout out to the Nintendo store for offering this. Okay, so we'll start with me personally. I love how thick the strap is. That's the first thing. When you want to carry a lot of stuff, but you don't want it to feel like a lot of stuff, you need a good thick strap. Then you have this. I don't know what I would put on here, but I think that's a good way to. I'm still not sure what I would use this for, but this outer pocket. I just have bags, in case I grew up, I was born in San Francisco. It's just a bag that I got, 2 bags that I got in case I make a purchase. I can use the small one for smaller items and then the bigger one. I just have that. So it's kind of like my own version of reusing, right? Reuse, recycle, redeem. I don't know. There's 4 R's. And then I have my headphones. Because who has time to charge AirPods? I had AirPods. It's a big commitment having to try. Look, I appreciate. I hope one day Apple realizes that not everyone can fit through the square peg through the round hole. Sometimes we have squares. I consider myself a square. I want a headphone jack back, please, Apple. I don't know how many shares of Apple I need to purchase to break through to the people who think that they need to force upon every consumer the lack of ports, the lack of ideas, and the lack of creativity. Please, Apple. I'm saying this kindly because, my first computer was a Apple Macintosh 2VX, which I loved. So please bring back the headphone jack so I don't have to constantly. I feel like your tech should work with you and help you live a more enjoyable life. It shouldn't be a burden, a hoop that you need to jump through in order to appease a billionaire. That's just my opinion. Thank you. All right, so now we move to the front. I like these. I might be hooking some things on here. We have a front pocket, which, okay, so this is called my dump pocket. So I have a tourniquet in case myself or anyone around me gets shot. I can apply a tourniquet. I have face masks. Just a mouth guard in case what is the I say look what's the punch that's going to knock you out, the one you don't see coming. That's from my personal experience. The one you don't see coming is the one that's going to knock you out. Some medical tape. Let's see what else I have in here. Ooh, some gloves in case I need to actually I'm not a big fan of touching people that I don't know, so I'd rather put gloves on. Some wooden spoons, because anywhere I go that offers wooden spoons, I feel like these are definitely reusable, but you reuse them enough, they start to crack. So I like to keep those wooden spoons. What else? Some Band-Aids. Ooh, hacky sack. And then this is a gift I have for my mother. So shout out to my mother. I have a gift for you. And yeah, that's okay. So that's the outer pocket. Oh, a toothbrush and toothpaste, because I need to keep my mouth clean. All right. Then the other thing I love about this bag is they're using faux Cobra buckles, because they don't have the actual Cobra wording on there, which is okay, because for $50, I think that the fact that they're faux, like they're not actual Cobra branded buckles, I think that's okay. But they are metal and they do feel really good. So shout out, dang, Nintendo, you're stepping up your game. Okay, so you pop that open. Nice embroidering, nice kind of like artwork here on the inner part of the flap. So you flap that open, and then you have one. So you have these two pockets here, which I use for, I have pens. I have my Pokemon pen. Shout out to Pixar Place Hotel for having their sweet pen. And then this is where we stayed at Club Quarters. This is a sweet pen. I consider myself a pen aficionado. This is an amazing pen. So shout out to Club Quarters. You nailed it. You nailed it with your location, your hotel, and your pen. Okay, good job on that. This is a great pocket too for like my son's cell phone, or just kind of like something that I need to access but is slightly secure, because the flap is going to cover it. And then on this side I have other specialty pens. This is a pen for scratches on our Hyundai Ioniq 5. This is the color matched pen. Keep that just in case I need to touch up the paint. Sharpie. Okay, boom, let's go to the main section. Now the only, I guess, negative is it's kind of like just a big open, which is fine. I know a lot of bags, it's just like one big section and then like another section that is for like a tablet or laptop. I don't know what size, don't quote me. You're gonna have to go to the Nintendo store and ask them. But I have reading material, I have charge cords, my wallet, my actual charging device that I plug into the wall. I have that there. And then in the big main compartment, I have some lotion, my umbrella, because that is extremely useful in San Francisco, my glasses, cases, some butt wipes, because everybody's got to poo, okay? And anyone who tells you they never pooped their pants is lying to you, okay? Because that's why I say, it wasn't until I watched my first son being born. I'm sorry to my second son, I missed his birth. But I realized, I'm like, there's no such thing as self-made. I'm like, how could, even after you're born, the nurse sometimes has to rub your belly and get you to breathe. So that in itself should tell you that, I don't think I've never even heard of a child being born and then walking out of the hospital in that moment. To me, that's self-made, because you just popped out and you're good to go. And I don't see that. That's not what I see from my personal experience. Your personal experience might be different, but I think everyone needs someone, especially moments after you're born. So butt wipes, I have this I borrowed from my wife. This is an amazing bag. I keep kind of my miscellaneous things in here. So I have a couple patches, these stickers that I stole from my son because he got some new Jordans, a spare flashlight. What else do I got in here? Oh, like a little knife in case I need a little knife. A fingernail cutter. Shout out to Germany for making the coolest, most amazing fingernail cutters. Yes, Papa.
Can I have my Switch?
Yes, I'm going to get my son his Switch. But I just wanted to show you the bag. I think it's awesome. Oh, and then I have my keys. Oh, and then utensils. This is where I put my keys in there. Keep that in there. Shout out to you. Anyone who understands that joke, hey. And this is my favorite utensil container. Boom. Because I'm always ready to eat, guys. Anywhere I go, I'm like, look, shout out to Joey Tribbiani and friends. You know, I always got some silverware on me because I'm always ready to eat some food. So thank you to Nintendo for making an amazing bag, in my opinion. And now I'm going to get my son his Switch. I think my next Switch purchase, our next Switch purchase is going to be the OLED. I can't justify the Switch 2. I'm sorry. Look, I know all your mainstream YouTubers, the people that are paid to give you an opinion, are going to tell you why buy a Switch when you can buy a Switch 2. But I'm like, I need a reason to buy the Switch 2. I'm not going to upgrade. Now it's more about replacing, not upgrading. So I think there's a big difference. You know, we have existing hardware. I have controllers, docks, everything that the Switch 1 needs to run in our home, on the go, wherever we go. And, you know, upgrading to Switch 2 is a huge commitment. Okay, so we're not doing that yet. Yes, Bob?
When it was nighttime, Mommy's light was on.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe she was getting ready for work. Thank you to my wife for being very committed.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys on the next one. So thank you for letting me share. Thank you for...
My head still hurts.
I'm sorry your head hurts, bud. Okay, so like, comment, subscribe. Only if you can or want to, if you're capable of it physically and mentally. We love you. Have a blessed day. And we'll see you on the next one.